Do you have ADHD? Do you find yourself stuck on that same thought cycle over and over again, despite whether or not you actually want to think about it? In this video, I want to talk to you guys about what ADHD looping is and how it could be affecting you, and I'm going to share some of my personal tips to help me break that cycle of like constant looping. If you're interested, definitely tune into this video and let me know down below if you can relate to any of these. So yeah, let's get on to today's video. ADHD looping happens when your thoughts get stuck in this very repetitive cycle, often hyperfixating on things that can cause you distress, that make you feel unhappy, your anxieties. And also, it doesn't just have to be things that cause you to feel upset or anxious. It can be things that can make you happy, fill you with so much joy. Just because they're happy thoughts doesn't mean that they can't be very distressing. It can get overwhelming to just only be able to think about one thing and not be able to like shift it and think about something else. It can become very overwhelming and very claustrophobic in your own mind because you can't think about anything except from that one thing. So for people with ADHD, this can manifest in several ways, and I'm going to share with you some ways that it has manifested for me. So the first kind of manifestation I'm going to talk about is emotional looping. Emotional looping can be connected and linked to us ADHDers and our difficulty with regulating our emotions, so emotional dysregulation. This is where I think it personally kind of stems from, our difficulty being able to process, break down and really understand our emotions. So as the ADHDer, you know, ruminates and hyperfixates on that one thought, that is when it becomes very disruptive to the day, making it harder to regulate your emotions. You start feeling overwhelmed, and that is when, for me, I know that it's like I need to take a step back, because it's like I want to scream and shout because I feel trapped, like I'm imprisoned in my own mind, because I want to think about something else but I just can't. And those emotional loops and those emotional triggers just get too much. Like, I need to find a resolution, otherwise I am never going to stop thinking about this. I need to find something to fix this thing, or like I need to find something else to do, because it gets too much. This is one that I really struggle with, and it's task looping. It's also called like behavioural looping. Individuals with ADHD, not all of us, but some of us, will delay starting a task or finishing a task. Guilty. Even when we know that it needs to be done and it's necessary and there's a time limit, like that doesn't always motivate us to get these things done. This can create frustration, anger, you know, pent up like aggression, because it's just like we want to get it done, but there's just a mental block there that just we can't. We then get in this thought cycle thinking that we're stupid, we're dumb, we're lazy, we're not good enough, our self-esteem, self-doubt, a really negative thought cycle, because we think that we're not doing enough or we're not doing good enough. Yeah, it's a really intense thought process and thought loop to be stuck in. So this one is like an anxiety thought loop, or like a rejection sensitive, like a hyper awareness thought loop. I'm not really sure what the correct terminology would be, but for me it's more like a rejection anxiety replay thing. Like it just goes over and over again. Let me just explain it. So our ADHD brains are wired to like hyper focus, aren't they? It's just hyper focus on things, and sometimes not on things that are very productive. It could just hyper focus on anything, and like I say, it doesn't have to be a good thing. It could be a negative thing, and for me it's usually a negative thing. For me, I usually hyper focus on a worry, like an idea, a scenario. I'm replaying and analysing conversations that I had like 20 years ago, when really I should be getting on and just focusing on my work and being actually productive. But my brain don't work like that. I will analyse a conversation that I had years ago, and in my head I'm imagining that I'm actually in that scenario there and then it feels so raw that my emotions like start playing, and then it's just like, wow. I even like overthink decisions that I've made in the past. Like, it's like, should I have made that decision? Was that the right decision? Was that the wrong decision? What if I had made a decision, like if I'd have chose to not do that? Would I have been in a different scenario? Like, I will just overthink and overanalyze every small detail of my life, when really I should just be doing something productive. But my brain just focuses on that thing that I really don't want to be thinking about. For me, it makes it really hard to move past the past and like look forward to the future. It makes me feel very stuck in the past, and I make myself feel like, I make myself think that I'm a failure, or that I should have done something more, I shouldn't have said that. You know, all that secondhand embarrassment from years and years ago comes flooding back, all those emotions. I should have said this, I should have said that. And in my head, I'm imagining myself saying that, and I'm replaying that conversation as if I said what I think I should have said. And then all those emotions stir up on my stomach from like years and years ago, and then I'm holding a grudge again. And it's just like, I moved past this, and I moved forward, but now I'm pushing myself all the way back again, thinking about it again. And it's just this thought cycle that just is stuck in this, like, I don't even know, like, it's just, I just get stuck in the past, and it's over and over and over analysing things that I should just move on from. So I hope that kind of clears up what I was talking about when it comes to like ADHD looping, because I think it's really important to discuss it and like share it with you guys. Because for me, when the doctor spoke to me about it back at a rheumatology appointment, I was shocked, because I was like, why is a rheumatology doctor teaching me more about my ADHD than the ADHD doctor I have? Like, I was flabbergasted, and it really made me sit back and think, wow, I need to try and break these negative thoughts when I'm having them. I need to break this thought pattern. I need to figure out a way that works for me. So I'm just going to share some things that I've kind of put into place for myself when I'm finding myself stuck in these negative thought cycles. I've been having a real hard time recently with health anxiety. I've been stuck in a really bad loop about things happening to me, making me think that I'm, you know, I'm gonna die and stuff like that. But I had to take control, and I had to put some things into place and practice what I preach now. I had to do these things because otherwise I was going to drive myself nuts if I didn't stop talking about it and thinking about it. So here are just a few things that work for me, but please don't get disheartened if none of these work for you. You just have to keep trying and find the things that work for you, because there are things out there that will help you. So yeah, let me just explain a few. This is one that I put into action, and that is distracting myself. I have to distract myself. For me, it's playing my Nintendo Switch, Animal Crossing. A virtual kind of reality, it just takes me out of my own reality, and I'm in a game. I'm not in my own reality, and it kind of helps distort those horrible kind of thoughts. It pushes them a little bit to the back. Even though it doesn't cure it, it just, for those couple of hours you're playing a video game, it makes it a little less of an issue. So another thing that I was taught from a very, very young age, I went to see a child psychiatrist when I was younger about my really bad anxiety, separation, sleep anxiety and stuff like that, right? Health anxiety. When I was younger, I went to see this child psychiatrist, and to this day I still remember, and even my mum, we use this when we're feeling anxious. It's so helpful. I don't know what the official name of it is, but he taught me and showed me a diagram of a circle, right? And within that big circle there's a very small circle, and when you are at your worst, when you are at your biggest thought cycle, right, that huge circle is the problem. That's how big you think the problem is, right? But in reality, it's that very small, minute dot in the middle of that huge circle. That is how small the problem actually is. And as you know, as you gain control over your thoughts, and as you're able to, you know, move past these thoughts and break them down and really see how tiny they are, that huge circle starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it becomes very minute. But you have to be okay with going through that process. You have to recognize your feelings and your thoughts. You have to see them for what they truly are, and for you to be able to move past them. So recognizing your thoughts, recognizing what they actually are, not even ignoring them. Don't ignore them. You have to recognize them for what they are. You have to be able to think, right, okay, I am worried about this. Why am I worried about this? Ask yourself why. Where has it come from? What are you actually worried about? And like, you have to just give it permission in your head. You have to recognize it, because the more you think about it, the more you like when I say talk about it, you're able to see how tiny the problem actually is. Over time it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. As you gain control over your thoughts, it becomes very minute. It takes time, trust me. Literally, I'm 26 now, and I went to see a child psychiatrist probably when I was like 11. So it's taken me so long to really truly understand this formula this psychiatrist showed me. Like, I don't know what it's called, but it's so helpful, and I'm gonna, if I can, I'll get a picture up here of the kind of formula that he showed me, because it does put it into perspective. You have to be okay with the process. You have to recognize and give yourself permission to actually feel your feelings, because they are valid and it's your natural response to these feelings, and you shouldn't suppress them. Recognize them and allow yourself time to work through them, because I believe in you and I know that you are strong enough to work through them. But again, reach out to a professional if you feel like these thoughts and feelings are getting overwhelming and you can't, you know, you can't gain control. Definitely do not be ashamed to reach out for help. Asking for help is such a real strong, and I think it's such an important step to take, and it's the most important step to take if you feel like you need help. reach out for help. So I hope my little bits of advice at the end have been helpful to you. They aren't going to resolve any of your problems, trust me. I am not a shrink, I am not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor. I am nothing but someone who goes through the exact same thing that you go through. It's honestly, you aren't alone in these struggles, and knowing that again helps. So yeah, just know that you're not alone, and just know that I have faith that you are strong enough to conquer these and gain back the control up here, because don't give those thoughts the control that they want. You don't need to. You are strong enough, and I believe in you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and let me know if you have any more tips and tricks and bits of advice that you think might help me or anyone else watching this video. They are so appreciated. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.